All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this huge, invisible machine that keeps our entire modern world running. We're going to demystify the hidden world of supply chains, and trust me, by the end of this, you will never, ever look at a delivery truck the same way again.
Just think about your morning. I mean, before you've even had your first cup of coffee, you've already tapped into this incredibly complex global network. That coffee you're drinking, the phone in your hand, pretty much everything you're wearing, all of it has been on this wild, invisible journey just to get to you.
It kind of feels like magic, right? Things just appear on the shelf at the store or in a box on your doorstep. But behind all that magic is an incredibly complex and frankly, absolutely critical system. So how in the world does it all actually work?
Well, the system behind every single product you own is really a masterpiece of coordination. The best way to think about it is like a giant global symphony with thousands and thousands of players all working together perfectly in sync just to bring that one thing to life.
Now, there's a formal name for conducting this whole symphony. It's called supply chain management, or SCM for short. You can think of SCM as the conductor. It's the big picture strategy, overseeing absolutely everything from the moment a raw material comes out of the ground until that finished product is sitting in your hands.
And you know, inside that symphony, you've got to have a rhythm section, right? The part that keeps the beat? Well, that's logistics. This is the hands-on, boots-on-the-ground part of the chain, the actual physical movement and storage of all the goods. Logistics is what keeps everything, quite literally, moving in time.
Here's another great way to picture the difference. Let's say the entire supply chain is a hospital, okay? Supply chain management, that's the hospital administration. They're making all the big strategic decisions. Logistics, though, that's the ambulance drivers, the paramedics, the vital on-the-ground work of getting the patient exactly where they need to be, precisely when they need to be there.
So who's actually in this symphony? Who are the key players? Well, it all starts with the suppliers, the ones who provide the raw materials. Then you have the manufacturers who turn those materials into actual products. From there, distributors move the products around in bulk, getting them to the retailers who, finally, sell them to us, the consumers. And you know what? Our demand is the entire reason the symphony even plays in the first place.
All right, so now we know the players. Let's dig into one of the toughest decisions they have to make day in and day out. Because every single product's journey involves this one critical trade-off. It all comes down to a single question. How are you going to physically get this thing from point A to point B?
And let me tell you, this is not as simple as just, picking a truck or a boat. No way. The choice involves this constant, really delicate balance between cost, speed, and reliability. And getting that balance right or wrong can literally make or break a product's success. You've basically got 5 main ways to move stuff around. You've got trucks on the road, which are super flexible and pretty fast. Then there's rail, which is great for heavy loads, and it's cheaper, but a bit slower. Ocean shipping is the real workhorse of global trade. It's very slow, but it has mind-boggling capacity, and it's by far the cheapest. Air is the complete opposite. Incredibly fast, but it can't carry much, and the price tag is sky high. And of course, you've got pipelines, just silently moving liquids and gases all around us.
When you boil it all down, for most of the things we buy, it comes back to this one fundamental choice. Do you need it fast, or do you need it cheap? Shipping that new phone by air can get it from a factory in Asia to your door in like a day, but the cost is astronomical. Shipping it by ocean is way, way cheaper, but you could be waiting weeks for that boat to cross the sea. And this speed versus cost thing, it's not just some boring problem for a business school class. The ability to master a totally new kind of logistics has, time and time again, been the secret ingredient that created the biggest retail giants in history.
Seriously, check out this pattern. It's fascinating. Back in the 1890s, Sears completely harnessed the power of the new railroad network to build its massive mail-order catalog empire. Fast forward to the 1960s, Walmart used the brand new interstate highway system to build a revolutionary distribution network that let it take over suburban retail. Then, the 1990s, and a new giant, Amazon, rises by mastering the logistics of a whole new technology, the internet. In every single case, a retail titan was born by figuring out a new, better way to move stuff. Okay, so we've covered the concepts and we've seen the history. But why does any of this invisible world really matter to you?
Well, it's because this world has a very, very visible impact on your life, on your expectations, and on your wallet.
First up, cost. For a typical company making things, all of their supply chain costs can eat up between 50 to 70% of their total expenses. That is a massive slice of the price you pay for just about everything.
Second, our expectations. You know that need for next day or even same-day delivery? That's not an accident. That is the direct result of companies going to war with each other over logistics. And it's changed us. Today, an incredible 96% of shoppers think fast delivery means same day or next day. That's just the new norm.
And finally, there's the environmental impact. And this one is huge. The choices made inside the supply chain have enormous consequences for the planet. For instance, just by shifting a shipment from a truck to a train for the long-haul part of its trip, you can cut CO2 emissions by up to 75%. That's not a tiny little change, that's a massive difference. So, the next time you see a container ship out on the horizon, or a freight train rumbling past, or even just a delivery truck in your neighborhood, maybe you won't just see a vehicle. Maybe you'll see a crucial musician in that invisible global symphony that brings the world to your doorstep. Now that you can see it, what are you going to see differently? Thanks for joining us.